tensions are running high in the Taiwan Strait. US and Chinese warships had a dangerous interaction. The US is angry. It has released a video of the incident. Take a look at this. The US and Canadian navies were conducting a joint exercise in the Taiwan Strait. America's guided missile destroyer Chung Hoon and Canada's frigate HSMC Montreal were carrying out a regular transit, and that is when a Chinese warship cut in front of the US vessel. As you can see on your screen, a Chinese warship is sailing across Chung Hoon's path in calm waters. In fact, it came as close as 150 yards. The American destroyer was forced to slow down to avoid a collision. You see, the Taiwan Strait is a sensitive area. China does not tolerate foreign presence here. The US and Canadian joint drills were a rare occurrence, and China decided to intervene. It claims America's move was a provocation. Chinese analysts had applauded the move. They say that the point-blank interception demonstrated China's courage and capabilities. Listen in to what the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin had to say.
As I have just said, the US side caused trouble and provocation in the first place, while the Chinese side dealt with it in accordance with the law. And the initiative taken by the Chinese army was completely reasonable and legal, as well as completely professional and safe. It is the US side that should reflect deeply and correct its wrongdoing.
Did you hear that? He says China's move was completely reasonable and legal. But how exactly? US and Canadian ships were in waters protected by freedom of navigation. For those of you who do not know this, freedom of navigation allows ships of any country to sail in international waters without interference from other states. Then how exactly is China's move justified? If anything, it acted like a loose cannon. And it's not me who is saying this. This is what the HSMC Montreal commander had to say. Listen in.
Maneuvering close to each other, 150 yards is very scary. And you don't ever want to be that close to another vessel because too many things can go wrong and you can actually have a collision.
And this was the second such encounter in recent days. The first one took place in the air. On the 26th of May, a Chinese fighter jet intercepted a US military plane over the South China Sea. China's J-16 aircraft aggressively maneuvered the American RC-135 plane, throwing it off balance. The US is clearly not happy. The Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, has condemned China for its pesky behavior. Listen in to what he said.
And what you've heard me say in the last several weeks, and especially the last couple of days, you know, I've voiced my concern about the irresponsible behavior we've seen with close intercepts and the coercive behavior that we see in the waterways, and so that continues. So, you know, I call upon the PRC's leadership to really do the right things to rein in that kind of conduct, because I think accidents can happen that could cause things to spiral out of control.
And what was China's response? Of course, it was defensive and put everything on America. Listen to this now.
Some people are talking about our ships, our planes getting too close to their ships and their planes. But the real question is, why are they coming all the way across the ocean to our doorsteps? They are getting too close to our territories, to our territorial waters, before anything else. This is not a good way of showing respect to others. It's certainly a disrespect of other countries' sovereignty and territorial integrity.
And the timing of this encounter could not have been worse. Relations between the US and China had already been fraying, And when the US proposed bilateral talks with China on the sidelines of Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, Beijing declined the invitation. And just a few days on, this is what the Chinese defense minister said at the Shangri-La Dialogue.
China has been seeking to build a new type of major country relationship with the US, but it requires the US side to show sincerity, match its words with deeds, and take concrete actions to meet China halfway, so as to push forward the stabilization of bilateral relations between the two countries and militaries.
So what is this, if not hypocrisy? You see, on one hand, China is asking the US to meet it halfway, and on the other hand, it is snubbing proposals for bilateral talks. So what really does China want? Why can it not make up its mind? Even right now, senior US diplomat Daniel Kritenbrink is in Beijing to mend strained ties. But the Chinese state media slammed the visit, claiming that the visit is a sham, that the US is simply putting on a facade, putting China in a bad light. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.